All right, so I'm going to go through some examples of how we can find the equation of a tangent line when we're given the equation of the function and the point that the tangent line is going to go through. So what we're going to do is let's first agree that we're going to have our tangent line equation be in slope-intercept form. So y equals mx plus b. And the idea is to recognize that the m represents the value of the slope or the value of the derivative at the point, in this case, where you want the tangent line to go through. So in this case, we want to find the value of m or the value of the derivative at -1, 6. So first, we're going to find the equation of the derivative, and then we're simply going to plug in -1 for x and 6 for y. Most likely, since this is it's a one variable function, you're not going to need to worry about your y value. But once you know the equation of the derivative, you plug in the x value, and then you can solve the equation for the y-intercept, and then you'll have your tangent line. All right, so first let's find the derivative. Let's look at 41. Let's find the derivative of this. So 41, we got y is equal to x plus 2 times x squared plus 5. Now, you can go ahead and use the product rule from here if you choose to, but I actually would rather just multiply this out and then take the derivatives of each term individually using the power rule. So I'm going to go ahead and FOIL this out. X times x squared will be x cubed. X times 5, 5x, plus 2 times x squared, 2x squared, plus 2 times 5, plus 10. And then I have my polynomial, my function. I can just find the derivative from here. So y prime will be 3x squared using the power rule plus 5 plus 4x. So this is the equation of my derivative. Now, I want to find the value of the derivative, or the value of the slope, in other words, at the point -1, 6. So I'm going to plug in -1 for x, and then I'm going to get some number for my derivative y prime. So I plug in -1, I'll get that y prime will be, let me actually go to this next line. I'll get the y prime will be 3 times -1 squared plus 5 plus 4 times -1. Simplifying this, I'll get 3 plus 5 minus 4. So 3 plus 5 is 8, minus 4 is 4. Did I do that right? 3 plus 5 is 8, minus 4 is 4. Okay. So this 4 tells you what my m value is. It tells you what my slope is essentially. So this is like my m. So I can go ahead and write this now as like y equals 4x plus b. Now, now that I know that, I can simply solve for my y-intercept b by just plugging this point back into the equation, plugging -1 in for x and 6 into y. Because since it goes through this point, these values have to make the equation work. So recycling around, going back, I can go and write 6 equals 4 times the -1 plus b. I solve for my b will be 8. Here's the work, 6 equals -4 plus b. No, that's wrong actually. There, that's why we check. -4 plus 4, that'll actually be 10, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I meant to say. Is 10. And now I can go ahead and finish my equation and write it correctly as y equals 4x plus 10. Y equals 4x plus 10. That is the equation of the tangent line through the point -1, 6. All right, let's do another one. This is really fun, guys. Let's do another one. Make sure you have this down. So let's look at 43. And I really like a new eraser and whiteboard. So I will accept donations if any of you guys are so kindly willing to do that. Anyways, all right, so again, we want to find the derivative. So we want to find the equation of the tangent line to this function at this point, at the point 1/2 comma -3. So again, we want to find the value of the slope or the value of the derivative at this point. So let's first find the derivative. So y prime, here we're going to use quotient rule because here we have f over g, and going over here to my little handy formula, the derivative of f over g is equal to f prime times g minus f times g prime all over g squared. So the derivative of f, so the derivative of the top will just be 1 times g, just leaving g the way it is, times x minus 1 minus f get this maybe my life in order, minus f, so minus x plus 1. So this is f, this is your f prime, times g. So my g will be, or times g prime. So the derivative of x minus 1 will just be 1. That's a pretty simple derivative. Let me actually erase those. So this is the top. So again, f prime g minus f times g prime all over g squared. So all over x minus 1 squared. Using the quotient rule. And then from here, let me just use, all those skills that we learned, our algebra classes. See, this is where it pays off. You can simplify this. 1 times x minus 1. That's just x minus 1. Nice. Minus an x plus 1 times 1. That's just a minus an x minus a 1. This is amazing. Times all over x minus 1 squared, x minus an x. The x, that looks funky. These x's go away. X's go away, and x minus 1 minus 1 minus 2. That looks funny, but all right. So x's go away, minus 1 minus 1 minus 2 all over x minus 1 squared. Here's our weird derivative. Now from here, remember, this is our equation of derivative. We need to find the actual value of the derivative because that tells you the value of the slope. We want to find the value of m. Let me put this green to use here. So we want to find what the value of m is at this point. So we simply plug in 1/2 for x into here. So let's go ahead, let's do that. So through the point 1/2 comma -3. So we can, another way to write this is y prime of 1/2. You may see that notation. And I'm actually going to go away from this green because it looks like it's not strong enough. Maybe this green works. Nope, that green does not work either. So I'm going to abandon the green completely. We revert back to my solid black. So y prime of -1. So what's the derivative at when x is 1/2? Y prime of 1/2. So we just plug 1/2 into here. So -2 all over 1/2 minus 1 squared. This is where your middle school math comes into play. So -2 over 1/2 minus 1. So -1/2 squared. -1/2 times -1/2 will be a positive 1/4. And this will be a -8. All right. I'm going to change this m to red. Okay, so the value of the value of the slope of my tangent line is -8. So then I can go ahead and write my tangent line as y equals -8x plus b, and I just solve then for the y-intercept b. So let me go and hey, let me write this down here. So y equals -8x plus b. Solve for b by plugging this point in, plugging the point in 1/2 comma -3. So -3 equals -8 times 1/2. -3 equals -8 times 1/2. Let's see if I can fit this all in here. Plus b. -3 equals -4 plus b. And you know, I'm going to go and move this over here. Make use of space. -3 equals -4 plus b. And then b is going to be equal to 1. And then my equation for my tangent line will be y equals -8x plus 1. That's where I get my b. So go ahead, bringing this all back together. Y equals -8x plus 1. There you go, and life is good. So I hope that helps.